Hello CTU students. So now we're registered and we're in Connect, and I'm going to walk you through how to use this website. So you log into Connect, it's going to take you to the home page, and that's where you're going to spend the bulk of your time. But before we go over this area, I'm going to walk you through the other two tabs. So you've got the library tab, and the one thing you'll want to remember about this page is this is where you can actually go and get your student resources. So if I click on this, you're going to see that the resources available for this specific version of Connect are all right here, and they're broken down chapter by chapter. Okay, and then we've got reports. After I start submitting assignments, my results will filter in on the reports tab, and I'll be able to see how I did on assignments. Now let's go back to the home page, and I should note that though this is for HSS 121, the usability and functionality of Connect is going to be the same no matter what course you're using. So as long as you're using a Connect, it's going to look and feel the exact same way as this one. Alright, so first things up, by default you're going to see that we've got the full assignment list. So you'll see that I have week by week assignment listings because I'm looking at the full assignment list. Alright, but let's say, for example, that I just want to see the assignments that I'm going to have to complete in the near future. And I can click Next Assignments, and this is going to show me the assignments that are due in the most near future. Final view that I can throw out is the calendar view, and this just shows me a calendar, and I can click into my different assignment types from the calendar. I'm going to go back to the full assignment list, and I'm going to open up week 1. So when I open week 1, the first assignment type that you'll see is a Learnsmart assignment. It's noted by the LS here. Learnsmart and SmartBook, it's one and the same. They're a study tool that is actually going to be used to get you ready for the higher stakes assignments, so the quizzes and tests and those types of things. So we're actually going to cover those in a separate video, and for now we're just going to focus on the other assignment types. So we've got practice, we've got homework, and we've got a test. So I'm going to show you how each of those look and feel. We'll start with a practice. Alright, so it loads up and you're going to get information about when it's due, and also about how many attempts you have and any notes that your instructor wants to send your way. So you click OK, I've got it, and we'll begin. So I start in with a couple of questions. Alright, I immediately click score this assignment or score this question. I get feedback, and I'll move on to the next question. And we've got a bunch of different assignment types built into this. So you might have a couple of true false multiple choice questions, and then you've got a multiple part assignment like this. So it says here, recall that the skin is divided into how many distinct layers. I'm just guessing. So I answer the first part, and then I go on to the next piece by clicking either 2 or answer and continue. Okay, and I answer another question. I go on to 3, and now I've got an interactive lesson. So I click Start Activities, and it looks like this is going to be about burns. I click play.
The skin contains 3 main layers.
And I'm gonna, oh, so it looks like I was wrong. It's 3 layers, but I'm muting the narration, and I just want to point out that you can always rewind, but you can't fast forward, okay? And these circles on the timeline, note that you're going to have to answer questions at 3 different points in the video. So we basically are forcing you to watch the entire video because it's all important, and you need it to answer the questions that are inside of the exercise. Okay, so after you would submit your answers, you would click Next Submit, but since I'm not actually going to make you sit through the whole video, I'm just going to move on to the next portion and answer this. So now I click Score this question. I'm going to get feedback, and then I can move on to the next question. So at any time, if I am ready, I can submit the assignment. You're obviously going to want to wait until you finish the entire assignment. But when I click Submit, it's going to tell me if I haven't answered some questions. Okay, so I can then submit anyway, which is going to give me a bad grade. I'm going to get 0s on all the questions I didn't answer. Or I can click Cancel and go back into the exercise. Alright, so I'm going to save and exit. And this takes me back out to the main page. And I'll show you one other type of assignment. We've got the homework and the quiz, or the test rather, and these are going to be very similar in functionality. So let me open up the test. Alright, so I get information, and it tells me that I only have 1 attempt on this. So I'm saying, okay, I got it, and I'm going to start answering some questions. I can either answer and click next to go to the next question. All right. Or I can use the drop down. It's up to me. All right, so I'll answer a couple more. Looks like these are mostly multiple choice. And now I'm going to click submit. It's going to tell me that I have a whole bunch of questions that I didn't fill out answers for, but I'm going to submit anyway. And now I see my score. So now I return to the assignment list, and if I were to click on the reports, I should now have a grade. Okay? And from here I can actually open up the assignment and see exactly how I did on each question. Okay, so those are the assignment types. The only other thing that I'm going to touch on from the main Connect page is that you have access to the ebook here. Now we're going to be covering SmartBook in a moment, which is a really adaptive, cool, personal study ebook that has a lot of built-in features that I think you're going to like. But I do want to talk about this ebook that's embedded in Connect so that you know how to use it if you'd like to. You'll just click on the ebook, it'll open up, and it's going to take you by default to the table of contents, and you can just go straight into a chapter. So I'm going to go to Chapter 2, Body as a Whole. If I want to skip sections, like let's say I want to go to section 2.1, I can just click this arrow, and it's going to take me section to section. So if I want to now go to 2.2, I can click 2.2 by the blue arrow. You can jump straight to a page. So let's go to 31. All right. And this will take me straight to 31. All right, and there's one other function that I think is pretty cool here. If you'd like to do highlighting, you just select the text, and if this is important, I want to highlight it, I click my highlighter, I select the color, and then I click Add Highlight. And now I've got a highlight here. Also, I can keep my notes. So if I want to make a note, I just click the notepad, click a color, and click Add Note, and now I can type in a note. Remember to study this. All right, I click Save Changes, and now I can move my note to wherever I'd like it to live on the page. All right, so you might think that that's a good feature, but it's going to be hard to remember where all your notes and highlights are. So if you scroll to the top and you click My Notebook, all of your notes and highlights will be broken out by chapter here. So it's a really good way for you to remember what's important. All right, so I'm going back to the reading area. And just know that you've also got videos here. So if I click Video, all of the videos that are appropriate for this are going to be embedded in the ebook, and they're broken out chapter by chapter. So you can just click on a video, it'll open up and play from right here.
In right-sided heart failure, the right ventricle cannot contract with the...
Okay, and the last thing that I want to point out about the ebook is if you're ever trying to, let me go back to the reading tab, if you're ever trying to search for something, there's a really easy way to do that. You go up into the search area and you just type in your search term and go. And this will break out every single part of the textbook that covers the word that you type in, and you can actually get right to it from here. So if I say, oh yeah, I need to brush up on chapter 6, talks about the heart, click on this and it takes me right in to that portion of the textbook. Okay, so that's the general navigation that you're going to have for McGraw-Hill's Connect, the standard assignment types, and then how you're going to be able to view your grades and get your student resources and use the ebook. Next, we're going to go into Learnsmart and SmartBook, which is a really important study tool, so I'll see you in just a few minutes.